Welcome back to Pride. In today's video, we'll be unboxing and assembling an indoor health fitness bike from Xtreme Power US. Now we have everything taken out of the packaging. You can see the main portion of the fitness bike is pre-assembled. We don't have too many parts to put on, so we're going to go through the instructions, go step by step, and add on these parts to finish our fitness bike. Alright, so the first steps to assembling are the two bases, the front base and the rear base. It's really simple. There's 2 screws for the front, 2 screws for the rear. The directions have pretty clear pictures. Everything is labeled pretty nicely. Pretty decent description on how to assemble this fitness bike. So we're going to put these down to the side. And you're going to have 4 screws in the packaging. Looks just like this. You're going to remove the nut and the washer. This screw is going to go in through the bottom of your base plate. Then you're going to put your washer on top and your nut on top of the washer. So we're going to go ahead and attach that rear base before we attach that front base. Taking a look at the rear base, and it's completely symmetrical, so there's no specific way it needs to be facing when attaching it. So you're going to put your screw in through the bottom. Make sure it slides all the way in so that it's flush. I'm going to go ahead and throw the second screw in as well. Feed that through and make sure it's completely flush, because the base is actually going to hold these screws in place from turning. Put your washer on. Put your nut on. Washer on. Nut on. Let's see, we have a little bit of play here. We're going to shorten it, so we're going to push this in as much as we can. Then you're going to use the wrench that was provided in the packaging to tighten down these 2 bolts. And I already noticed, I didn't get to it in the directions yet, but we have some adjustments here on the side. Just 2 little knobs, and this is for raising the bike's height from the base. We're going to keep it on its lowest setting for now and see how everything is before making any adjustments there. Doesn't have any torque specification, just says tighten by hand with wrench. So we're going to try to get it snug, but we don't want to over tighten it. These are still turning pretty freely. They wouldn't turn much by hand. Had already gotten it hand tight. That's good and tight right there. Now we're just going to go and do the same thing on that front base. We're going to keep the wheels pointed forward. This is for when you ever need to move the bike around. You can just lean it forward onto those wheels and roll it. So we're just going to lift here. Get that there. Same thing on these front 2 bolts. You want them to be flush. A little bit tighter of a spot to be working in on this front base. And the front base also has the knobs on the side for adjusting the level of your fitness bike. All right, now our bike is nice and stable. We have the front and rear base attached. Step 2 on the directions is going to be inserting the saddle post and the saddle slider, which is basically the parts underneath the seat. These parts are all adjustable as well, height and distance back and forth, so that you can move closer or farther away from the handlebars. Alright, we're going to go ahead and begin step 2, insert saddle post. This is your saddle post right here. You're going to put that top piece facing back. It is a tight fit, so you're going to have to wiggle it in a little bit. Once you get it in, it's going to slide down fairly easily. And then you have a hole right back here. That's going to be your stopper right there. You can tighten and loosen to be able to adjust the height of your seat. So let's get the seat a little bit higher up before, and look at that. That top plastic piece slides right back out. Not a big deal though, because once this is in, let's see if we can get it lined up. There we go. Let's tighten this in. This should be locking it in one of these holes. All the height adjustments. Tighten that down. And now that post does not move. Okay, so that saddle post is in. Fasten it by the adjuster knob. That's the piece we just put on. Attach saddle slider. So the saddle slider is this piece right here. Assuming we're going to take this knob out so that we can attach the saddle slider. So we're going to loosen this knob. We got a washer there as well. Let's pay close attention to our directions and see if the washer goes on the inside or on the outside of this. 23 is washer. Yep. So you're going to take your washer and your knob off of the slider. The washer was here, knob was here. You're going to put that knob into the insert of your height adjuster. You're going to put it in just like this, and you'll have that play. You're going to put your washer right underneath, and then you're going to screw on your knob right here, your adjustment knob. This adjustment knob will tighten down, and now we can't slide back and forth. Once our seat is on, we'll be able to loosen this and slide back or forward, depending how far away you want to be from those handlebars. So we'll put it flush in the back and put it just about centered. This knob doesn't feel all that strong. This plastic, pretty flimsy. This one can break pretty easily. We might have to do some adjustments there. All right. Next step is going to be our seat. Our seat is going to slide right on top of that saddle slider. And we're going to tighten the saddle with the wrench. That's going to be the bolt right here on the side. So let's see how easily this slides on. Doesn't go down any further. Yep. Tighten this one here. Let's try to get it nice and straight. Seat seems pretty comfortable. It's got dual springs under the rear of the seat. seems like it'll be a pretty comfortable ride. This bike is not for me. This is a gift. I'm just doing the assembling. I never really been into spinning or using fitness bicycles. This is actually for my wife. I'm sure she's going to enjoy it. A little bit of play in the seat. We can tighten it down some more. We actually have a tightening bolt on both sides. So we'll tighten this opposite side down as well. Try to keep everything nice and even. Alright, now no sudden movements will turn that seat and it looks pretty straight. Alright, so our seat is on. Our adjustment knobs are tight, so nothing is going to be able to move. If we wanted to move the seat either forward or back, we can just loosen this adjuster knob, slide it back, and then tighten it back down. If we wanted to adjust our height, we can just loosen this knob here and either slide up or down and then tighten it back up, locking it into place and securing the height that we want. Alright, and now we're on step number 3, insert handle post. We're going to be inserting the handle post so that we can insert the handlebars and attach those. Let's get to it. Alright, so here we have it. I have these 2 Allen keys in up top. I put this one in and I added the nut to this one already. I'm going to slide in the 4th Allen key with the washer. Underneath, I'm just going to add the other 3 nuts and tighten them all down, torque them down. Alright, now we're on step 4. Step 4 is going to be to attach the computer holder. This small piece right here is your computer holder. The computer is going to slide onto these 2 notches right here. So your computer holder is going to go on this way so that you can slide that computer right onto those top 2 notches. We're going to take this screw out completely so that we can get this holder right around that front handlebar. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our computer holder. We took the screw out all the way so we can get it over this center bar. We're going to use our Phillips head screwdriver. We're not going to use the Phillips head that was provided on the Allen key. We don't want to strip this screw. We're going to tighten it down, but not all the way. We still want a little bit of play here because we want to sit our computer on it, which slides right on. And we want to get it lined up so that it'll be in a comfortable position before we tighten it down. That looks just about right, nice and straight. Good view. Let's see if we can go a little bit more to the left. This is not something that you want to loosen again after you tighten it down. You don't want to be loosening it, tightening it over and over, because there's always the chance of stripping the screw or even cracking this little plastic bracket. Now we're going to tighten it down. We have it the way we want, and now it's firmly in place, doesn't move, and I'm happy with that there. The computer is nice and straight and centered. Now we've got a couple wires. We're going to refer to our directions that we're going to be connecting to our computer. So we can slide this right off. We're going to take a look at our directions. We have one that says sensor, one that says pulse. Let's take a look at our directions, see which one goes which. Alright, now we're going to be attaching our computer to our top mount. You'll notice there's a battery compartment on the back. We just threw 2 AAA batteries in the back. It powered right up. And then you have 2 ports. One says sensor, one says pulse. You're going to have 2 wires, 2 plugs, I should say, coming off your bike. One is coming from the frame of the bike, and it's just a single wire with a single plug, and it has a spring on it. This one is going to go to the left to sensor. Just going to plug that in. And then your other plug is going to be coming off your handlebars. That's a double wire, 2 wires meeting at just 1 plug. That one's going to go into your right port labeled pulse. So you got sensor and pulse. If you remember that you have a heart rate monitor on your handlebar, that's the indicator for pulse. It's going to be reading your pulse. That's why these wires are going to that port on the right. We're going to try to keep our wires nice and neat and slide our computer right on that computer mount. Right up top, we'll have these two wires on either side, and this wire coming straight out from our frame. Next step is the pedals. Our pedals are labeled right and left, making it very simple. Also, you can see in the shape that this one is going to be facing up, this one is going to be facing up, and these screws on the inside, you can only go one way with these pedals when attaching them to your bike. Let's take a look at the directions though and see how these are going to attach. These are threaded. I'm assuming they just thread right in over here, but let's just take a quick look and make sure, because it only takes a second to read this small section. Then attach the right pedal, number 16, to the main frame, turning by clockwise. Then attach the left pedal to the main frame, turning by anti-clockwise. It's going to also be clockwise. You're just standing on opposite side of the bike. So we got our right pedal here. We're going to screw this in. We want to make sure that it stays nice and straight. And then we're going to grab our wrench and use the wrench to tighten it down. Okay. You could get a real good view of the thread on this bolt going in. Get it nice and tight, and that foot peg spins real freely. This is adjustable, making it comfortable to be able to get your shoe or your sneaker in on these foot pegs. Let's give it one more torque. Yep, that one's tightened in all the way. Let's put the left foot pedal on. Let's rotate this. I see this one is counterclockwise. This one is as if you were loosening a bolt. Never heard of anti-clockwise. I thought it would have said counterclockwise if it meant to turn to the left. But this one you're actually going to turn to the left, whereas that one you turned to the right. Just as if you're loosening a bolt, turning to the left. See how that would confuse someone if they were trying to disassemble the bike. They would try to turn it to the left to take this pedal off, and all they would be doing is tightening it. Let's torque it down by hand. That should be good. Everything looks good on this pedal, also adjustable. Everything seems to be working properly. This is your tensioner right here for that wheel to increase the tension, making it harder to pedal forward. Loosen it, and that wheel spins very freely. Looks like no gear on this fitness bike, so if you stop pedaling, you have to stop the wheel as well. You can't let it spin freely. No gears. Like I said before, not into spinning, not into using these type of bicycles, so I'm not too experienced with them. The frame seems very strong, very sturdy. The handlebar seems very nice. The computer not too sure about. We have to play with it and see the features that it has and see how well it works. The seat seems very comfortable. The bike feels pretty sturdy. Let's get it all the way onto the mat. The bike feels pretty sturdy, pretty strong, nice and sturdy. We have a bottle holder right here in the center, and it came with this bottle right here. I cannot tell if this bottle is metal or plastic. It seems like a very cheap bottle. I don't think that we'll be drinking out of this bottle that came with the bike. I'm pretty sure we're going to toss this bottle. I'm not too fond of the bottle that came with this bike, so we're probably just going to toss this. This is probably the only part of the bike that I'm not too happy with. We're just going to toss that. If we're removing the bike, we can simply lift from the back, get it up onto those front wheels, and roll. So those wheels are a good feature to be able to move it around on a hardwood floor. Other than that, we'll be doing a review on the bike to see how well it performs. And also I'll be providing links in the description below to this particular bike and similar bikes as well, if you'd like to purchase one for your home gym. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Prime Martial Arts. Turn on notifications for all future videos.